What's up, y'all? It's D. About to react to this Choice TV vid. It's titled Nicki Minaj Was Right. Cardi B caught doing voodoo after denying it for years. Alright, Cardi is in the news, alright? She's in the news a lot. A lot of the T blog pages are talking about her. People are telling me to react to these vids. So, yeah, we're going to get into it, okay? Let's see what's going on and why she's doing voodoo. Let's watch.
Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, my loves. It's Destin Choice, and you're watching Choice TV. For today's video, I wanted to get on here and talk about Cardi B, the occult, witchcraft, symbolism, and magic. Now, most of y'all obviously see this title and see the thumbnail, and you're probably thinking to yourself, what the hell is going on? When you look at someone like Cardi B, you wonder, damn, she shot to success and she was super successful back in 2017. When she first came out, most people just knew her as a reality TV star and an IG comedian. And then as time went on, within a year to a couple months of her being on television, this woman shot to superstardom. Granted, she's always had a fan base before she was popping, but Cardi B shot to superstardom in a way that was unbelievable. You then think to yourself, how did somebody get this much success just off of the branch of the internet and not even writing most of their music? Most people oftentimes would think, payola, this is obviously bot success created by labels. 2, you have to be super lucky and really have the public's attention. Or 3, you more than likely had to, move some things.
Oh, I just saw this. I just saw this movie. It's actually really good. When I finished it, at first I was just like, okay. I mean, it was good, but I feel like people was hyping it up. But I looked into like the symbolism and shit, and I was like, oh yeah, that shit is hard. Which I feel like a lot of people did. Once they started like connecting the dots for me, I was like, oh, okay. Which I mean, some of it was pretty clear. Already, caught from first watch. But there were other things where people were like going deeper into it, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's fire. So after like understanding, the meaning of it, then I was like, the deeper meaning. The deeper underlying meanings, I was like, all right, this is kind of fire.
Spiritual realm in order to get a buzz like that. And most people just credit to she was just super lucky and came at a great time. And of course she came at a great time because the world wasn't really big on Nicki Minaj, especially due to her antics and, her allegedly stopping bags. And even though I've had my issues with Nicki Minaj in the past, being a crash out and, not being very nice to people, and even though she does have me blocked on Instagram, Nicki Minaj isn't known for being a liar.
What did you say?
So Nicki Minaj, 3 years ago, back around 2021, end of 2021, she came out and she said that one of our favorite female rappers, whom she's had an issue with in the past, went to her family to do voodoo and witchcraft on her.
If one of your favorite rappers went and did voodoo, like actually went to a voodoo person on multiple occasions, and so fucking dumb, went talking about it, not only texting about it, but went talking about it to people and didn't know that somebody that was in air reach that knows me very well won't say how. Would you still like that person? Y'all so motherfucking stupid and clueless. Y'all probably still think that person is cool. Imagine your self-esteem being so low. You're resorting to voodoo and witchcraft as if.
She been going up on her fans. All these crazy rappers been going up on their fans.
You don't have to pay it back. Am I that much of a threat? Could you imagine being that much of a weak bitch?
When she came out and said this, I immediately thought to myself, okay, she's probably being a little bit dramatic. It probably wasn't even like that, especially because it was he say, she say. The reason many of us thought that, especially me, was because Cardi B is known to be Catholic. But I did take it with a grain of salt because you don't put things past anybody, especially because most people who practice voodoo, Santeria, or even magic, they're swore under oath to not practice publicly or tell anybody of their beliefs unless absolutely necessary.
Because you cannot ask God to do something bad for their children. You feel me? So I just be like, God, handle my enemies the ways that you want to handle them. I don't ever have to do no weird freaky deaky shit. People have found pictures of me and Fefita La Grande. Y'all know Fefita La Grande, she's a staple in the Dominican Republic. And they have been making memes that she's my grandmother that does the black magic. I don't do none of that shit. Not only do I don't do that shit, I don't practice that. If you practice it.
Cardi made it very clear that she doesn't practice that kind of stuff. It's nonsense, it's BS. And she even poked fun at the rumors. She posted this little hocus pocus clip saying, oh, this homily, just poking fun at the people for their nonsense. But the Barbs still didn't take her word for it because the Barbs know that they don't trust Cardi B. And they were quick to pull up receipts and old clips of Cardi B alluding to the fact that she definitely got ties to that kind of stuff.
Like I could be infatuated by them. Like I probably do black magic on them. Fucking crazy. Have you ever did black magic on a guy?
No.
Fuck them.
That's a little bit too casual. Nobody just casually goes around asking people, oh, have you ever done it? It's almost as if Cardi B didn't want to outright admit it, but she wanted to see if somebody else would admit it first. Yeah, it's pretty, odd that she would even say that on live. Joking. And this was an old resurfaced clip from before she was famous. On top of that, the Barbs even found an old picture of Cardi B from when she was a stripper, where she clearly has an altar with a bunch of offerings of money lying around. Now, that seemed a little bit odd. Now, Cardi B was quick to denounce this photo that the Barbs found, and she quickly said, that's not Santeria, that's the...
This is what I hate about hotels. You'll have the sign on the door saying do not disturb, and they still knocking on the door to disturb. This is why it's Airbnbs for life. I mean, I like hotels. Sometimes they have their upsides, but then they have their downsides as well. There's pros and cons to both, but there's a sign. I literally put it on the door. I made sure to put it on the door. Why are you knocking? Keep knocking. I'm not giving up.
Catholicism, and in Catholic and Christian homes, we make altars with candles of Christ, baby Jesus or Virgin Mary. White candles to show respect to your past angels as well. Learn people's religions, you uncultured swine, before you get them confused. And she then posted some photos and some receipts backing up and educating those who thought that she was doing Santeria. So, of course, we all pretty much put the rumors to rest, and we all just thought maybe Nicki Minaj was just believing a baseless rumor until recently. So, if y'all didn't know, Cardi B recently went through a really rough divorce with her husband Offset. It's been so ugly to the point where she's taken it to the public numerous times, talking about cheating, talking about the fact that her husband is jealous, and she's made it clear that she had a weird awakening about who her husband was and how he was draining her energy and holding her back from being blessed.
Thank you for my kids, though. All three of them. I don't regret none of them. But I regret you. I don't regret my kids. You good, Daddy. You all right.
I remember watching this.
I don't regret them. None of them. Not none of them. Fuck you. I regret you. I'm too good for you. I've always been too good for you. You know I'm too good for you, nigga.
Cardi B is also having to pay spousal support for her husband Offset. So it's not even just the fact that she wants to separate herself from Offset, it's the fact that she's the breadwinner. She's worth more than $30 million.
How much does he request? How many times are you going to knock? I hate everybody. But how much is he trying to demand from her? Spousal support, that's ghetto. And he got a nurse be doing interviews, kind of sneak dissing her, but you begging for money? That's crazy.
And Offset is worth so much less than her. And due to that, Offset feels as though that in order to maintain his lifestyle, his trips, his homes, and his cars, he feels that Cardi B owes him spousal support. And that caught many of us off guard, especially Cardi B. And within that same week, Cardi B put up a really odd post on her Instagram story when this did hit the public of Offset wanting spousal support of this animation of a entity and deity known as Ochosi. Ochosi, for those of you who didn't know, is involved in the Yoruba religion, Santeria, Lukimi, and even Komdelon that's oftentimes practiced in Brazil. And oftentimes when people seek him, they're trying to seek him for protection, justice, divine energy, balance, opportunity, prosperity, good health, and protection from leeches, poor allegations, civil suits. That's when people oftentimes seek him. Now, when it comes to the Orishas and deities and saints and spirits, it's not all evil. It just depends on who's using it. A lot of these deities that even some of your faves work with, like Beyonce, for example, she works with Oshun. Oshun is the symbol of femininity, prosperity, good wealth, and notoriety. Beyonce works with her, and Beyonce has even given her offerings. Hell, some of y'all were the offerings. Y'all remember Beyonce's song, Hold Up? Y'all remember when y'all was singing that all summer? Yeah, Beyonce literally gave y'all as offerings because she made a whole music video dedicated to Oshun, wearing some of her outfits, wearing some of her attire, doing performances that are based on her outfits and based on her colors. Yeah, Beyonce works with that entity. And a lot of times when you work with these entities, you have to give them things such as wine, watermelon, honey, gold, and so much more. And a lot of your faves practice this. Hell, even them bitches in Black Lives Matter, them bitches that worked with Black Lives Matter, that found Black Lives Matter, that fraudulent-ass organization, yeah, them bitches were witches as well, and they also work with these entities. Y'all remember when y'all was saying, I can't breathe all summer? Yeah, y'all were helping them resurrect spirits.
But it's a very important practice. Hashtags for us are way more than a hashtag. It is literally almost resurrecting a spirit so they can work through us to get the work that we need to get done. Always, in my tradition, you offer things that your loved one who passed away would want,
I'm just taking this all in. I have no idea what about any of this. I'm just like, oh, interesting. But I don't, listen, if it ain't got nothing to do with me, it ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't feel the need to shame anybody's religious practice, or I don't know if you would call this religious. I don't know whatever it's called. I don't feel the need to shame it or put it down just because I don't understand it or I don't know much about it. People should just do whatever they think is best. That's how I feel. Live your life the way you want.
Whether it's like honey or tobacco, things like that.
Did you know that? Anyways, That's another video that I've already made. And a lot of your faves practice as well. Summer Walker, Erykah Badu, Kalani, hell, even some of your faves that, we could talk about in a whole other video. Several weeks ago, Cardi B came out wearing some elekis. Elekis are spiritual beads. So basically, Cardi B was spotted wearing elekis that pay homage to a certain deity, a spirit. And people obviously does it off to the side and didn't pay any mind because most people aren't fully informed. But I knew exactly what those were when I saw them. And she had those on because usually when people have those on, that's a broad sign.
Ain't she Dominican though? I'm confused why she's whatever. I don't know.
That they've just been initiated in a religion. And Eleki is the Yoruba word in West African religions for spiritual beads. A lot of times these beads have to be soaked in river water. They have to be soaked in honey.
But I don't know if she considers herself to be like a black Dominican. I don't know.
Coconut water, and sometimes there has to be a prayer that's chanted to it to pay homage to the spirit that you're going to be serving and the spirit that's going to be blessing and protecting your life in your future lineage. Recently, a TikToker posted a video saying how she picked up on Cardi B's spiritual attire.
Let's talk about some more super spiritual celebrities. And today I'll be talking about Cardi B, her ilekes, her orisha, and just all that good stuff. But there's several pictures of Cardi B wearing her ilekes. And if y'all aren't familiar with what ilekes are, they're basically these very symbolic necklaces that basically, represents an orisha. Tosi is a divine hunter and a symbol of justice and precision. And he has a deep connection to the forest and wild animals.
Her name is Kennedy Jackson. Please feel free to give her a follow because she was one of the first people to actually brought this to the attention of everybody. And after she did this video, Cardi B was quick to comment her colors representing her entity, which then confirmed it. So Cardi B definitely is involved with some religion such as Santeria, Lukimi, Kondolon, or even Voodoo.
Can you fucking believe this shit? And y'all know I don't speak on nothing that I don't have receipts to. Could you imagine being that much of a weak bitch?
So it all ties back to what Nicki Minaj told us 3 years ago. Cardi B swore up and down that she was religious and didn't fuck with shit like that, but now 3 years later you do? Now, I'm not going to judge Cardi B in a negative way for being involved in that kind of stuff, because oftentimes people do seek these kind of practices for protection and peace. Even Taraji P. Henson, who practices this kind of stuff that involve in the religion, she felt a heavy spiritual weight lifted off of her, and she wasn't shy to admit that at the Met Gala when she wore colors paying homage to it.
This was paying homage to the Yoruba culture, and the women who paid honors to a deity, they wore white because it represented transformation and spirituality. I think that's where I am right now. Because I'm at peace, I fought for the peace that I found now. I feel like I'm in a transformation from the old me to a new me.
And it's not just her. You could even ask Mr. Michael B. Jordan, your favorite actor this year. Michael B. Jordan, if y'all didn't know, is a Babalawo. A Babalawo is a high voodoo spiritual Ifa priestess. They're basically spiritual specialists. And people oftentimes seek them for things such as mental clarity, feeling like they're being spiritually attacked, or if you feel like your ex won't leave you alone, you can go to someone like Michael B. Jordan. And then on top of that, if you feel like you want to be connected to these deities or these entities or these saints for protection and peace and prosperity because you feel like traditional religion isn't working for you, you would go to someone like Michael B. Jordan, who's heavily involved in that stuff.
Michael B. Jordan, the B stands for Bakari, which means of noble promise.
Correct. You know your stuff.
All right. Who gave you that name, and how do you think it shaped the man you are today?
I'm a Babalawo and my mom when I was born. I'm a Babalawo and my mom when I was born. I got the name, fresh out the womb. And I just try to, live in that purpose, every day since.
Notice how he seems a little bit awkward about talking about it and how he dances around even addressing it. He volunteered that information, and it's very obvious that Michael B. Jordan definitely doesn't want to talk about it because people who practice that kind of shit usually are sworn under oath to not overshare about it. Hell, even P. Diddy has one of these entities tatted on his back. He has...
Oh, damn. Well, he must have did something wrong because... Anyway.
Or Zuli tatted on his back. And y'all think that it's just money, politics, and all that stuff that got Diddy off. Yeah, there were some other forces that got him off too, but that's a whole other video that I don't even think people are ready for. Santeria, Voodoo, Kondolon, a lot of these are closed religions. So when y'all see these little kids on TikTok or these fake little witches or fake little spiritualists on TikTok saying, oh yeah, I just got inducted into it and this is how you do this spell and this ritual. Yeah, all phonies, all frauds. Well, 90% of them are. You can't go around telling people these kind of things. They have to be initiated. But when you watch movies like Sinners or you see things like spiritual practices being promoted by the likes of Kalani and so much more, it just shows you that Cardi B was seeking protection. Kalani, for example, came out and said that she's involved with Regla de Ocha, because she claimed that she was at risk of losing everything and she was going through a lot of spiritual attack with people in her personal life and people in the industry.
Shout out to everyone in here, committed to their spirituality, committed to their growth, committing to serving those who came before them and honoring them in every single thing that they do. So I'm going to dedicate this to not the people in here, but the people above all of you that are here surrounding you, the people behind me that you can't see that are right here, my whole army that's standing right in the spotlight with me. And remember that when we honor them with this song, it's in joy, it's in happiness. A very serious time in my religion. I'm an Afro-Cuban religion called La Regla de Ocha. It is derivative of the Yoruba people in West Africa. Okay. And it was brought to Cuba, kind of like the birth child of the West African religion and Catholicism.
How did you find that?
It found me.
Okay.
When you enter it, you have a conversation with somebody and they explain that the belief is that it's for everyone and every single person, on this planet is derivative of one of the energies that we work with. I ended up coming to somewhere and coming to some amazing elders who actually revealed to me that I was on a really short path to losing everything I worked for or being sick or dying young or things like that. And I quickly got myself together.
And because of how evil and crazy the industry can be and how, you make low energy music that involves sexual liberation, but it's really low energy shit that's meant to keep the community in a chokehold and make the pockets of billionaires rich. Cardi B obviously had to seek protection elsewhere. And sometimes people do this stuff, they do it because they feel like sometimes God isn't enough. Like, that sucks for some of y'all to hear, but for some people, they feel that way. I'm not saying I feel that way, but some people use these entities and these spirits as a...
Yeah, is that why they go to this? Because they think God isn't enough? I don't think that's the case.
Tool. As a tool
I don't know for sure, but it don't sound
God
like
is
that's
moving
the
too
case.
slow or not the way they would want, they reach out to these entities that are still on Earth. And a lot of times, they'll give you a lot of things such as blessings, opportunities. You want a new financial opportunity. You want to see if your ex is really for you. You can speak to them and tell them to send you dreams and subliminals.
If he your ex, he ain't for you.
And so many things like that, and synchronicities. And a lot of times they will connect with you and protect you from things that could have went badly. It does sound like divination and witchcraft for those who are religious. But to be fair, a lot of these cultures and these religions and these spiritual practices have been around just as long as Christianity and just as long as the Quran and just as long as Catholicism. Cardi B doing this is obviously a sign that she's trying to protect herself because Offset is trying to come after everything that she's built. Think about it like this. Offset is the reason why Cardi B got all these serious cosigns. Yeah, Cardi B was lit before, but without Offset, and she said this in the past, her career probably wouldn't have blossomed the way it did because Offset was at the highest in his career due to the Migos. Then Offset introduced her to executives, people in the industry. He got seen posted up her, and he gassed up her popularity. So it benefited her a lot, which then led her to her album, which then led her to more opportunities. So Offset does play a role in her success. Not everything, but a lot. So Offset probably feels like...
I don't remember the timeline of when they got together and how big she was then. I don't remember.
To come from everything that's his, when in reality it's just bitterness because he lost control and his own career isn't even taking off like he probably thought it would since the Migos have disbanded. Be careful the kind of music you consume. Did y'all watch Sinners? Y'all don't realize that sometimes evil and dark entities will sometimes try to latch on our favorite musicians and our favorite...
This part was hard.
Artists playing music just to keep control of everybody around them. Cardi B now being initiated means a few things. You're probably going to see a lot of symbolism in her music videos in the upcoming years and on her album. You're probably going to pick up on a lot of entities being, shouted out in her music and so much more. Just like how Beyonce's always shouting out Oshun. So Nicki Minaj wasn't lying when she said that our favorite female rapper was involved with that kind of stuff because maybe she wasn't initiated at the time. Because there's levels to it. There's outsiders who dibble and dabble, and then there's somebody who's fully initiated, full force, which means every week you're going to have to give some offerings, and you better give the right offerings, and so much more. So seeing Cardi B with her Alekis should tell you everything you need to know, because Alekis are not a fucking joke. You can't let anyone wear them. You can't let them shits touch the ground, or there will be consequences, and you definitely can't let them shits be worn while you're in the middle of intimacy. And that tells you everything you need to know about how Cardi B is going to beat a lot of her cases, and why Offset is probably going to have a very rough year. Because Offset has definitely put Cardi B through the ringer throughout the past 5 years. But that's that for this video.
I mean, personally, this doesn't mean much to me because I don't practice religion at all. So, yeah, I was just taking it in and just listening and I guess getting information about it. But, I mean, sure, if this is how they want to live their lives and what they want to do, then that's their right to practice whatever religion they like. Just like it's your right to practice or not to practice whatever religion you want to or don't want to. So, there's that. I mean, I hope it works out for her. She does seem like she has a lot going on. It's a lot of, drama surrounding her right now. So, hopefully whatever she's doing, it kicks in. And hopefully this album drops next month, because that's what I personally care the most about. But yeah, there's that. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think though, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.